Explain yourself.
Oh.
You know what we do.
Each week we break down another Breaking Bad episode in order, and this week we've reached the season 3 finale, Full Measure. I've got 32 details you might not know, the most we've ever had. Vince is mad at himself about number 13, and I understand why. But first, we start with an ominous view of the White residence. A colored flash forward means we'll reach this point by the end of the episode. Uh-oh.
I hope we're not too late.
No, perfect timing.
Okay, Sam, this is my husband, Walt.
Aha, it's a flashback.
Sandia Laboratories, huh? I hear some pretty fascinating stuff goes on out there.
This is the only scene in Breaking Bad where Walt doesn't have any facial hair. That's right, even in that weird Gretchen flashback, Walt had a beard.
Seems like something's missing, doesn't it?
What about the soul?
Giant space lasers? Now that sounds cool.
Scientists love lasers.
So this is it, honey. What do you say?
Brian's wearing a handmade wig that cost $5,000.
As you can see, there's this kind of flow going on here. It's got a pool.
Oh, pool is nice. How many bedrooms?
3.
Only 3 bedrooms?
Wait until he hears how many bathrooms there are. It only has one bathroom.
We'll need a spare room for a study so that I could work at home and you can write.
How goes the novel? I could critique it for you.
Oh, no. What about a wine cellar? I mean, we certainly cannot be expected to live without a wine cellar.
And there's another cringe scene for Skylar.
For our price range, this is as good as it gets.
Well, then let's stretch our price range. Why buy a starter house when we'll have to move out in a year or two? We've got nowhere to go but up.
It was cut for time, but they were going to end this teaser outside where we not only see a silly McGill Realty sign, but we also get a classic Vince reveal of a Porsche 911 convertible.
We have to talk about a new car.
Yeah, do you think?
I'm thinking about the Lexus LS.
Keeping this scene would have given this transition more meaning. We're back to the present with the aftermath of Walt running over Gus's men. Just like in 4 Days Out, this middle of nowhere area is right next to the studios.
Walter, you see us? Yeah, I see you. I'm gonna need some kind of assurance.
I assure you, I could kill you from way over here if it makes you feel any better.
Walter, you've been busy. You said no half measures.
Funny how words can be so open to interpretation.
You're gonna want to get your car fixed.
Let's see how this goes first.
Mike almost goes down here.
Has your condition worsened?
What happened to your head?
Is there a ringing in your ears?
You didn't hit it? Like, really hard?
Are you seeing bright lights or hearing voices?
I'm quite well, thank you.
No, clearly you are not. No rational person would do as you have done.
Explain yourself.
My partner was about to get himself shot.
Some contemptible junkie.
This is the first episode directed by Vince since the pilot almost 3 years prior, and he wasn't used to the 8-day shooting schedule because the pilot got 15 days. As a result, he forgot to get a shot that would have enhanced a later scene, but we'll get to that.
He was angry because those 2 dealers of yours had just murdered an 11-year-old boy. Maybe he thought it was you who gave the order.
Are you asking me if I ordered the murder of a child?
I would never ask you that.
I don't think he did. Although he doesn't tolerate loose ends and he does like irrational revenge, this brought extra attention to his crew.
Where is Pinkman now?
A couple of time zones away, at least. Beyond that, I'd only be guessing. He has enough money to last forever. You'll never find him.
I don't know, Walt.
I totally missed Mike's rare Walt instead of Walter last episode.
Walt.
So that was the first one.
I would like to review options with you. Option A, you kill me right here and now. Apparently, I have made that very easy for you, and then spend the next few weeks or months tracking down Jesse Pinkman, and you kill him too. A pointless exercise, it seems to me, but that is option A.
What is option B?
I continue cooking. We consider this a lone hiccup in an otherwise long and fruitful business arrangement. I prefer option B.
You'd need a new assistant.
I could get right on that.
No. This time I choose.
Your car. Get it fixed.
That was quick. Walt notices a Subaru with Free Tibet and Ron Paul bumper stickers.
I'm definitely a libertarian.
Ron Paul was running as a Republican then, although 20 years prior he was the Libertarian Party nominee.
Really? It's good to see you.
It's good to be back.
Let's cook.
Okay, Junebug, these are for you.
The rest are for me.
You're too old for balloons.
There's the only appearance of Stacy in Breaking Bad. Surprisingly, Jonathan Banks already had the idea for Mike's fleshed out backstory before the writers did.
That is indeed my granddaughter. That does not mean that that has to be my daughter.
Oh, okay.
Where or what ever happened to my son?
Yeah.
Or is he still there? That's, that's totally under your control. But I don't believe that's my daughter.
This plot point previously appeared in Malcolm in the Middle. This obscure character also appears in Better Call Saul. I have a separate video covering all the Breaking Bad characters that appear. The glass breaks almost a half second before the bullet would have gotten there. There were supposed to be 2 shots fired into that guy too, but the prop gun kept jamming. They wasted so much time dealing with prop gun troubles that Vince forgot to get a better shot of this hand-painted sign, which would have helped explain what's going on. Can you see what this is? Golden Moth Chemical, the supplier of those barrels we always see in the Super Lab. It's odd that the Chinese character on the logo means bee or wasp, although they did use different characters when painting this sign. Mike throws the shoe beyond the wall, which we see in a later shot, but not all camera angles agree. Here you can also see the Golden Moth logo. I don't know much about guns, but I think we should see a hole in the wall. And these barrels are clearly empty to be able to move like that. Maybe that makes sense, though.
Chow, you have anything you want to tell me?
They steal my chemicals. I can't stop them.
Hey, lady, are you still there? Ask her if she's still there.
Pang, 你还在吗？
我当然还在哦，我还能去哪里啊？哎，你们在干什么呀？我得赶回家了，我有小孩子要照顾，我老公一定急死了。你钱付不够，我前面死了个男人耶。
She says yes.
How's her driving?
She's good driver. She has a Camry.
Good. Have her drive you to the hospital.
Like you said, it's cartel, all right.
Probing for weakness.
I didn't find any.
What's that I see on the floor? Spillage?
Nothing gets spilled.
Whatever my shortcomings last time, I intend for things to go perfectly.
You're great. Seriously.
Please teach me.
For a libertarian, Gale has a lot of Marxism books. Crapa Pelada means bald head, and the lyrics are about hair loss and other things. This is a reflecting telescope, so it's backwards if he's intending to look out the window. Gus has deployed his family man sweater.
Mr. Fring, can I offer you something? Creme de menthe?
The creme de menthe line was actor David Costable's idea. The photos on Gale's wall are of producer-director Michelle MacLaren's brother on the summit of Everest.
If push came to shove, I was wondering how soon you might be able to take over the lab.
Why would push come to shove?
He's dying of cancer.
How long does he have?
That is very much the question.
I suppose if we had at least a few more cooks together.
You don't think you're ready now?
1 or 2 more cooks? 1 more.
I believe in you, Gale.
Is there any particular trick to purging the catalyst bed?
No, it's pretty straightforward. I'll show you when we get there.
The Chi machine is back.
Jesse Pinkman, current whereabouts. The sooner you tell me, the sooner you can get back to whatever the hell this is exactly.
Saul's office never had a ceiling before this episode, but Vince really wanted this shot, so they built one.
Mike.
This might be hard to believe, but that's the first time we ever hear Mike's name. Before now, he was just
My PI. If I give up Pinkman, well, then you're going to be asking. Old Saul gives him up pretty easy. What's to keep him from giving me up?
Don't make me beat you till your legs don't work.
I can't tell you, Mike. But who's to say I didn't write the address down in my day planner?
They really did get their money's worth out of this ceiling.
I'm going to leave the room, make myself a Nescafe.
Vince wrote that just like this sign in last season's finale. Does this look familiar? This footage was reused in the Better Call Saul title sequence for every season's second episode.
Was I right?
This is a real place that's still open. Given that the writers confirmed that Danny Wormold from Better Call Saul is the Danny, this made me wonder why they didn't name him Danny Hinkle, until I realized that Danny runs the laser tag, but he might not own it.
Snack bar's over there.
All right, already. We're good.
This constitutes good where you're from? My car is bugged?
I said maybe.
I'm being followed? What the hell have you gotten me into?
Saul gets so scared he hires a bodyguard in the next episode. I'll say more about that at the end.
I'm seriously rethinking my pricing, yeah. And that goes double for you, hip-hop.
Saul's going to need to add a tier beyond the premium services package.
I give us maybe 24 hours before he figures out that address goes nowhere.
I got my old job back. At least until they kill me and Gale takes over.
How long you think you've got?
He asks a lot of questions about the cooking process. I try to be as vague as possible, but I got that guy Victor watching me.
It's not as exciting as Mike, but this is also the first time they ever mention Victor's name.
What do we do?
You know what we do.
Maybe it's better for you to just go to the cops. The DEA would love you. Federal witness protection, that's a good deal. As for me, I'll hit the road.
Never the DEA.
I'm not sure why he feels so strongly about that. Is he channeling Gus? Worried about making Hank look foolish?
Leverage keeps me alive. It keeps you alive, too. I think I can see to that. If I'm the only chemist that he's got.
I can't do it, Mr. White.
I'll do it.
There's got to be some other way.
I'm all ears. But when it comes down to you and me versus him, I'm sorry, but it's gonna be him.
It is him or us. You understand? It is him or us.
Give me his address, and I'll do the rest. I saved your life. Are you gonna save mine?
The camera movement not only reflects the flashback from the beginning of the episode, but the music matches as well.
6353 Juan Tabo, number 6. Got it.
Don't do this, Mr. White. Go to the cops.
Walt's phone says 6:43 p.m., which fits the storyline, but the date of Monday, January 18th is when it was filmed, even though this is supposed to take place in May.
We got a problem. Some kind of chemical leaking in your lab.
I'll follow you.
They tell me to bring you. I bring you.
I don't know if it's a barrel leak or what, but you got something mighty stinky down there.
Nothing gets spilled.
Walter, the sooner you figure out what this is, the sooner we all go home.
Please don't do this. Mike, you don't have to do this.
Yeah, unfortunately, I do, Walter.
I'll cook for free, and there won't be any more trouble, I promise you.
No.
Okay, if I could just talk to Gus.
No.
I know I can make him understand. Please, if I
No.
can talk to Gus,
Walter?
I can convince him, okay? Just let me, please let me talk to him. Shut up! I'll give you Jesse Pinkman.
How many of you thought he was serious?
He's not in Virginia or wherever the hell you're looking for him. He's right here in Albuquerque, and I could take you to him.
Right now, you give me an address.
I don't know. He moves around, but if you let me call him. No, please. It's just my phone. I'll call him, and I'll have him meet me.
Just do it.
No, I didn't do it. It's gonna have to be you. What? Listen to me. You're closer than we are. You'll have about a 20-minute lead. They've got me at the laundry, and they're going to kill me. Jesse, do it now! Do it, bitch! Do it fast! Do it!
I feel like Mike could have acted a little faster to shut that down.
Just what the hell was that? Exactly.
You might want to hold off.
Yeah? Why?
Because your boss is gonna need me. 6353 Juan Tabo, apartment 6. Yeah.
They put salt under Gale's phone to make it move like that. Gale's using a laser thermometer to get the perfect temperature for his tea.
Scientists love lasers.
Jesse knocks on Gale's door identically to how Gus did.
Hi, how can I help you? Please, don't do this.
Please don't do this.
Whenever I see someone do a similar line as Brian, I normally think Brian's delivery is way better, but David Costabile really nails this scene.
You don't have to do this.
That shot is a lot like the one Vince insisted on including in the pilot, although the way it was filmed unintentionally made people wonder if he really shot him. Jesse didn't change his aim, the camera just slid over. Shout out to my channel members. Magnos and Benjamin Anderson are 6-month members. Congratulations to Magnos and Benjamin Anderson for getting your 6-month badge from YouTube. It feels just like yesterday when I first announced both of you in the Christmas special, but this is now the 29th video you've appeared in. Thank you so much for your support, and the support of all my channel members. Here are the members that have been here for more than a month. Thanks again for being here. There could be a wave of 6-month songs in the near future. And here are all the members. Say hi to the new ones. The chairman, Tom Underwood, Michael, Enpen Please, Witchy Bunny, General Merrick, I Can't Bite Ice, Lagosis, Kyle Pearson, Carlos F, Draco Beats, Atmosphere, Kaido, Yoon, Nosy, Edgar, Old Pression, Donut Sprinkle, Mike Elfers, Dante T, The Raid was boring so now I have to do it myself, Rye Guy, and your boy Chicken Joe David. I couldn't resist adding a Mike emoji just in time for his name reveal in this episode, but we need a few more members for me to be able to upload a Huel emoji in time for his debut in the next one. I'll see you next week as we kick off Season 4.